Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to night number 1 of the Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, the DDT4 Tag Team Tournament. So let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for this evening. We're going to have 4 first-round matches here. Going to start off with CNC Wrestle Factory, Cedric, Alexander, and Caprice Coleman, taking on the Unbreakable effing Machines, Brian Cage and Michael Elgin. Then we're going to see the Kingdoms, Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett, take on Jado and Gedo of Chaos. The Killer Elite Squad, the newly crowned Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr., will take on Johnny Gargano and Chuck Taylor. And the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, accompanied to the ring by AJ Styles, will take on South African Pride, Justin Gabriel and Angelico. Also on the card this evening, we will see Alberto Del Rio take on Kyle O'Reilly. ACH will take on Matt Sydal in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. That was a match suggested in the comment section by Jay, so thanks for that. And another one suggested by Jay was this 6-man Ring of Honor Television Championship match. I've tweaked it slightly and put it as an elimination chamber because I didn't really want to have a championship as important as this being defended in a battle royal. So it is going to be elimination chamber. I know that's not really very realistic for Ring of Honor, but this is a chance for us on this game to really push the boundaries and get to see the matches we want to see. So, yep, that's tonight's card. So let's get straight into our first round match of the evening. And here we go with our first round match of the evening. It's Cedric, Alexander and Brian Cage to start things off. And just going to give you a quick update on how this competition works. I know I've mentioned it in quite a few videos as recent. Basically, it's a tag team elimination tournament. We're having 4 first-round matches this evening. We will have another 4 first-round matches tomorrow evening. Essentially, you lose, you're out. And in every single match where the tag team champions from Ring of Honor are present, remember that is the Briscoe brothers, they will have to defend those championships. So effectively, the belts could change hands 4 times this weekend alone. So be sure to check that out. The Briscoes will be in action tomorrow evening, and I can tell you who they're facing. They'll be facing the Addiction tomorrow evening, so be sure to check that one out as well. As you can see on screen at the moment, this is a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, but since this is a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla themed show, we have got a special Pro Wrestling Guerrilla arena. Nice to see a little bit of a different one, and just to give Pro Wrestling Guerrilla a little bit of a plug, we are using their format. This is their pay-per-view. Of course, Ring of Honor on this universe mode is representing indie wrestling generally, so it's an extra little thing there. And of course, we have here Michael Elgin and Brian Cage, who are representing Global Force Wrestling. Of course, Elgin started the universe mode as part of the Ring of Honor roster. However, at the Ring of Honor versus Global Force weekend, Michael Elgin actually won the Global Force Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, so he transferred over, and Brian Cage also debuted. Brian Cage actually debuted over the Global Force Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors week-long pay-per-view, and since then we've had the tag team of Brian Cage and Michael Elgin as the Unbreakable Machines. Of course, Brian Cage is currently the Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Champion, so not only is this a very strong team, but singly these two guys are very good, of course. Michael Elgin's the former Global Force Wrestling Champion, and Brian Cage is the current Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Champion. So there's a lot of gold between them two, and to win a competition like this would definitely be a highlight in both of their careers. Blue Thunder Bomb there by Cedric Alexander. Going in for the pin. Coleman takes Elgin off the apron, only for a 2 count. And now Alexander launches Brian Cage up, catches him into the GTS, in for the pin. Referee's down, 1, 2. Oh, Michael Elgin's just in there to break it, and CNC Wrestle Factory nearly knocked off a big victory here against the Unbreakable Machines. Of course, the Unbreakable Machines have got a massive strength and size advantage, but as you see there, Brian Cage not letting the speed advantage, which is currently held by CNC, holding back by hitting that springboard crossbody. Alexander makes the tag into Coleman. Can Coleman pull off the hot tag? No. Of course he can't, they never do. And there's the belly-to-belly suplex by Brian Cage. So, yeah, basically, since the Tag Team Championships are defended in every single match the champions are present, we know whoever wins the DDT4 tournament will be the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. So, we will know who that is on Sunday evening, or I say Sunday evening, I'm generally uploading these, so it should be up early hours of Sunday morning. So, yeah, you should be able to see that as soon as long as I don't get behind, of course. I'm hoping not to. I've got everything recorded for the rest of the week already, so this should be... this is the only thing I've got to record now for the next few days. It just takes a lot longer to make these episodes. A snapmare there by Caprice Coleman. Of course, Caprice Coleman won the recent Best of the Best in Combat Zone Wrestling, and he will be getting a World Championship shot against Dean Ambrose in the very near future. I think I've got it penned in for a couple of weeks. So again, be sure to check that out. If you go down to the description below, you can find links to all of the brands I'm currently running in my universe mode. That is the WWE on Mondays, Global Force Wrestling on a Tuesday, Ring of Honor Wednesdays, Retro Roster on a Thursday, Attitude on a Friday, and Combat Zone Wrestling on a Saturday, and then of course pay-per-views on a Sunday. Well, pay-per-views on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in this case, but extra episodes is never a bad thing, is it? This match seems to have calmed down a little bit now, and the strength advantage of Michael Elgin seems to be taking control. And I quite like this arena, actually. It's not the... I think it's quite an old-fashioned logo. I think the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla logo now is black and white rather than black and green. But yeah, I still quite like it. Of course, Brian Cage and all four of these guys have worked quite extensively in PWG over the last few years, but since the Ring of Honor contract changes came in about a year ago, a lot of these guys had to stop working Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which has not really affected Pro Wrestling Guerrilla much. They've managed to pick out again some fantastic stars from around the world, and their shows have not lost a beat. They're still absolutely fantastic. Bringing in guys like Zack Sabre Jr. as more of a permanent member of the roster, and Zack is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Michael Elgin gets Caprice Coleman in almost like an angle slam. And now Elgin signaling for something here. Could this be the beginning of the end? Cage is across, and I think he's taken Alexander off the apron, but Caprice Coleman avoids what looked like Michael Elgin setting up for the Elgin bomb. Coleman takes Elgin up onto the top rope, and so he got planned here, and he's Coleman with a great butterfly suplex off the top rope on Elgin. Brings him back up to his feet, spins him round, but Elgin reverses himself. And now Elgin gets Coleman up. There's the Elgin bomb. Holds it for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, but Alexander's across the ring quickly and breaks the pin. And I've got a feeling these episodes are going to be longer than normal, because the tag team matches are generally longer. So, I don't think we're going to have more than 4 tag matches in one evening. We've got the 4 first round matches this evening, 4 first round matches on night 2. We'll have all 4 of the second round matches on night 3. And then night 4 will be the 2 semis and the final. I'm trying not to change the cards too much as well, because I want to unlock some more rivalries, because I'm desperate to get a hold of the Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro rivalry. I want to try and get that done before the before this universe mode ends and 2K16 comes in. Great 450 sort of clothesline by Coleman off the top rope. Goes to the pin, but it's barely a 1 count. Now Coleman makes the tag into Cedric Alexander, and Brian Cage is in the ring as well. Alexander with a quick roll-up, using his legs to his advantage. Again, only a 1 count though. Michael Elgin manages to fight him off. And there's a snapmare by Elgin. Of course, whoever wins this match will be going into night number 2. Not sure. Are we going to do it as a bracket? I think we probably will do it as a bracket, actually. Yeah, we will do it as a bracket. So the winner of this match will face the winner of the next match, which of course is Kingdom and Chaos's Jado and Gedo. As Elgin with a pin, only for a 2 count, as Coleman's in to break it up, and Coleman catches Brian Cage with that German suplex, and now Elgin with the angle slam, or the Olympic slam as it's sometimes called, to try and avoid copyrights, of course. And Elgin makes the tag into Brian Cage, who's going for a hot tag himself. And of course, the hot tag never works. Alexander brings Coleman back into the ring. And of course, the Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Champion here doing a good job. And he makes his way up to the top rope. Probably not a wise idea. It's not, as Coleman's back up to his feet and just brings Brian Cage down the hard way straight into the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. I'm not sure Elgin was going to get there in time to break that up either. So Brian Cage had to kick out of that one, as it looks like Coleman and Alexander now working together as Alexander holds Cage back, as Coleman with the punches to the stomach. And there's another beautiful German suplex by Caprice Coleman. And normally we would see CNC Wrestle Factory accompanied to the ring by ACH. But of course, ACH has got that big match this evening against Matt Sydal. Best 2 out of 3 falls, as requested by Jay in the comment section. I do read all your comments and I try to reply to them all, but sometimes it doesn't let me. I'll explain that in a minute. As Michael Elgin with the pin. 1, 2, 3. That is all. The Unbreakable machines are through. CNC Wrestle Factory out. Alexander tried to break the pin, but it looks like Brian Cage was having none of it. Held the pin down. Referee penalty for the 3. This one is over, and I'm going to write my notes now before I forget. The Unbreakable machines are through to round number 2. And I bet there's a lot of other teams that were hoping for a different result here. But of course, to be the best, you have to beat the best. And the winners of our next match between Kingdom and Jado and Gedo will face off against the Unbreakable machines on night number 3. As Michael Elgin's looking for... Brian Cage is looking for some more silverware here. Michael Elgin, triumphant return to Ring of Honor. But how long will this triumph last? Can they make it all the way? They definitely have the assets to do so. And here we go with match number 2 in this DDT4 tournament. Of course, the winners of this match will go on to face the Unbreakable machines, who won the last match. Start off here with Tavern and Jado in the ring. Of course, Jado and Gedo representing Global Force Wrestling, and the Kingdom, Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett representing Ring of Honor here. Again, we would normally see Tavern and Bennett accompanied to the ring by Adam Cole, but of course Cole has that big Elimination Chamber match this evening for potentially winning the Ring of Honor TV title, so he's backstage preparing. And he's left it in the very capable hands of Bennett and Tavern. Let's see if he was right to do so. It's a chop across the chest there by Jado. And brings in his partner Gedo. Of course, Jado and Gedo are part of the Chaos stable over in Global Force Wrestling, which is led by Kazuchika Okada. We've also got Shinsuke Nakamura and Low Ki in there. So it's a very, very talented formation. It's a great sort of stable to rival Bullet Club. And I think I mentioned it a few of my videos. I would love to see that as one of the things they bring into 2K16, is allowing us to do rivalries between stables rather than individual members. Because at the moment on the WWE brand, I'm trying to do a rivalry between the Ministry and the Wyatt family. And at the moment, I'm having to do Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt as one feud. Then I've got Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman against the Ascension as another feud. And of course, it's all one feud in theory. So, yeah, and then next month we might end up with Luke Harper versus Kane, just to spice it up a little bit. But yeah, it's be great if we could do stable versus stable. And of course, have stables as bigger as well. So Bullet Club, of course, can have quite a few members in. But also nice, something I've seen someone mention this before on the internet, and it's something that I've thought of as well, is assigning roles within a stable as well. So you can have, say, in Bullet Club, you'd have AJ Styles and then assign him as leader. You could have, say for the Ministry, you could have Paul Bearer and assign him as manager. So whenever any of the members of Ascension come out to have a match, then Paul Bearer is always going to manage that person. Which is one of the things I try and do when I create matches myself. However, if it's a rivalry match and the game's set it up for you, if you try and add somebody like Paul Bearer to the match, then it wipes it off as a rivalry match, and it doesn't go towards the rivalry, of course. So that's a little bit frustrating, because it would be better if we could have Undertaker with Kane. One of the things I noticed the other day as well is that if you play single player, if you go into the normal just create a match and you put Bray Wyatt in a match, you can have Eric Rowan and Luke Harper as managers. So which I thought was strange, because it means you can have 2 managers in a match. But if you go into universe mode, then you can't do that. So I think a lot of the things I'd like is just to open it up and allow us to do more things, really. The rivalry system, I think, could be increased to let us have more than 3 rivalries per month. Of course, because in real life, when you come up to a pay-per-view, I'd say like 95% of the matches on the card have had a build-up. There's a rivalry behind it, and at the moment we're having to create our own sort of rivalries just to build up the full card. It's not a major problem here in Ring of Honor, because a lot of the matches are built just out of being a great match, whereas over in WWE it's a bit more difficult. When you come up to a pay-per-view, you can't just make a match for the sake of a match. It doesn't work that way in WWE. So it'd be nice to have... It'd be lovely to have 7, because that's how many matches you get in a pay-per-view. So if I can have 7 feuds, that'd be perfect. Then I can build my entire pay-per-view with them feuds. And also the feuding system to make it less repetitive, because at the moment you... well, in some cases it's not too bad, but the majority of feuds, you just have 5 weeks of the same 2 people fighting against each other, which is not how it really works. So I've tried to change it a little bit in my WWE. So like our pay-per-view was set for being Taker versus Bray Wyatt, and I changed it to a Taker and Kane versus Wyatt and Rowan, and just to try and adjust it slightly, make it a bit more fresh and less repetitive, shall we say. As Bennett holding Jado back as Tavern hits a headbutt. Not like Tavern to go for a move like that. Boot to the stomach now, launching Jado across the ring to the other side. Catches him with a beautiful kick in a second. And now a neck breaker by Matt Tavern. A running knee strike. Oh, great move there. It's like using the leg to pull off a neck breaker as Bennett takes Gedo off the apron. And we could have a quick victory here for Kingdom. No, it's only a 2 count. Jado survives this one. And just go back to what I was saying about the universe mode. Now that the full roster reveal is done, as Tavern goes for another quick pin with the head scissors. And that's it. Kingdom are through. They will face off against the Unbreakable Machines on night number 3. And I will pick up what I was going to say in the next match. The next match, which will be the Killer Elite Squad, the current Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Champions, taking on Johnny Gargano and Chuck Taylor. But Kingdom were fantastic here. Picked up a quick victory. Here's that sort of neck breaker using the leg there by Matt Tabor. Not quite sure what that's called. I must admit, I'm not fantastic with a lot of move names. I know the basics, but then there was a Hurricanrana holding the legs in for the pin. And great victory here for Kingdom. Adam Cole will be very, very pleased with his 2 partners. And of course, I don't watch a lot of Ring of Honor. I must be honest. I watch a lot of the pay-per-views, but the normal weekly stuff. And from what I'm seeing on Facebook, it looks like Adam Cole has actually left Kingdom. I'm not 100% on that. I'm sure Jay can tell me in the comments section. Yeah, it seems like he's gone to join Red Dragon, which is, to me, is amazing. I think Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole are just an amazing 3 superstars to put together. And here we go, match number 3, the Killer Elite Squad. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer taking on the team of Johnny Gargano and Chuck Taylor. And I was going to say something at the end of the last match. No, I can't remember what it was. I really can't remember. It was something about 2K16. And I can't remember what it was. One other thing I want to talk about is the, of course, as it's been uploaded now, the full roster reveal has happened, and I'm happy with the roster. It's great. There's a lot of people on there. There's a few duplicates which they said they weren't going to do, but I'm not overly bothered with that because I can use them all on my different rosters. There's a few, for me, glaring omissions, or ones that I don't understand. Of course, you've got the Divas Revolution, which we all know is going to end up being a DLC, but I just wonder when the DLC, if it's going to be one of the first ones, because we don't want to wait until sort of February or March next year to get them, because they're quite integral to my universe mode. So I'm going to have to create Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks and Bayley. I think I'm going to have to create them to start with to use in the universe mode. Unless it's going to be a DLC we're going to get pretty quickly. And for me as well, one strange one was we've got X-Pac, we've got Triple H, we've got Billy Gunn, we've got Stephanie McMahon-Helmsley, but there's no Road Dogg. Which surprised me. I would have thought that Road Dogg would be... if you've got the rest of DX, you might as well give us Road Dogg and allow us to make DX. So I'm going to have to download the Road Dogg. Let me just make sure I've got that on my list to download. I'm sure I have. You know what? I've missed that one off. I've noticed I've missed a few names off my list today. Road Dogg. Right, I wrote that down now. So yeah, that was a bit of an odd one for me. A couple that I thought might be on the game as well was Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes. Of course, with them both passing away in the last 12 months, I thought out of respect they might have put them both in the game. Again, that might be downloadable content. I'm not sure. That's the next thing we want to know now, is what the downloadable content's going to be for the game. And you never know, we might find that out. The full roster reveal's been done now, and there's still 5 or 6 weeks before the game comes out. So I would imagine we'll get some more details spoon-fed to us for the next few weeks. Like I say, yeah, there's just a few omissions, and it'd be interesting to see what the... it seems obvious to me that the Divas Revolution is going to be a DLC. Since Sasha Banks said back in January, I think, that she'd been scanned for the game. So we know she's definitely been scanned, so she's got to be on the game at some point. So I'm imagining there might be like one pack that'll have Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bayley, then maybe the likes of Carmella and Alexa Bliss as well. I'm also expecting maybe an NXT pack with Blake Murphy, Samoa Joe, Solomon Crow, Bull Dempsey. Again, a few of the guys that have been missed out, because I'm not quite sure what makes Baron Corbin higher sort of a priority to be on the game than some of the other guys that are in NXT. So it's an interesting one. I would imagine, I don't know, I would imagine we might get some more showcases like they did last year that might add us a few extra guys in. Maybe the Dudley Boys. It depends how long ago it was that WWE knew that Dudley Boys were coming back, and if they informed 2K and allowed them to start making stuff like the models and get it all ready. Because there's not going to be massive differences made. There's Archer there with a submission on Chuck Taylor. Gargano was in quickly to break the hold. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we get DLC-wise. I'm sure there will be DLC. That's the way the world's going now. They know they can make money. They know the Divas Revolution is something that a lot of people are quite hot on at the moment, even although it's not going the way that any of us really want it to go. It's great to see these better ability women on the roster. So they know it's something that's hot, and they know it's something that a lot of people are going to want. So by making it a DLC, they're sort of printing their own money, really. So that's an obvious one for me. It'll also be interesting to see who we get as you normally get someone for buying the season pass for the downloadable content. You normally get an extra. Last year it was Paige. So again, it's going to be interesting to see who we get there. But yeah, it's not having Charlotte, Becky, Sasha and Bayley has really affected my NXT roster. I've had to drop a few of the women from the main roster to work both, just to try and bolster that up. The likes of Natalia, who has worked NXT matches before. Because the last thing I want is an NXT female roster of just Eva Marie and Emma, because that's just going to be painful to watch. So I've dropped Summer Rae, Natalia, page as well, just to give it a bit of meat on the bones of the women's roster until that DLC comes out. And again, if there is anyone you'd like me to put into 2K16, let me know in the comments below. I will try and list as many down and put as much as I can. As Archer with a chokeslam, Davey Boy Smith takes Chuck Taylor off the apron, but Gargano kicks out after 2. And Archer just launches Gargano over the top rope. Maybe not the wisest move. After hitting the big move like a chokeslam, you want to try and keep Gargano in the ring where you can really capitalise on the damage that's been done. Chuck Taylor's back up on the apron now, and Davey Boy Smith's making his way across the ring. Taylor tried to grab a hold of Archer, and Archer just one big right hand to the face just takes Taylor out, and Archer came to the outside, and Taylor returns the favour by throwing Archer back into the ring. Taylor has a hold of Archer now, and Gargano makes her way back into the ring, looking to take advantage of the situation. He does with a big knee to the stomach. Now, of course, Archer and Davey Boy Smith won the Tag Team Championships from the Young Bucks a few weeks back. Yet to defend them. However, we have said now that we are going to bring in a second Tag Team Championship, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We are going to have a competition to crown that in the next few weeks. As Archer are now hitting that tornado cutter on Taylor, and Davey Boy Smith came across to try and take Gargano out, and he has eventually. And the Killer Elite Squad are going through to night number 3, the second round. And they will face the winner of the Young Bucks and the South African Pride, which is our next match. And Gargano, I thought he'd done enough to avoid the attacks of Davey Boy Smith. Pulled down the top rope, and Davey Boy Smith went straight over the top, but as Archer was pinning Taylor, Davey Boy Smith just pulls Gargano. There he is, off the apron. And Archer manages to pick up the 3 count. Great win here for the Killer Elite Squad. Got some great momentum going for these two now. Won the Tag Team Championships a few weeks back from the Young Bucks. And now a successful first round match. And they get a good shot here at the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Arena. I like it. I like it a lot. And here we go, match number 4 this evening, and our last first round match of the evening. The Young Bucks taking on South African Pride. So we've got Nick and Matt Jackson representing Young Bucks, obviously representing Bullet Club as well against South African Pride. That's Angelico in the ring and Justin Gabriel on the outside. And as you see in the background there, that is the X Factor here this evening. That is AJ Styles. He is the man that may help the Young Bucks in several opportunities. We've seen it in the past. Guys like AJ Styles or Kenny Omega will come out ringside with the Young Bucks and distracting the referee at certain key moments when the match may have gone against them. I have also got Angelico in my universe mode for next year. I've got him planned in. However, he's going to be teaming instead with Jack Evans, as he does in AAA, rather than Justin Gabriel, of course, now known as PJ Black on the indie scene, and of course TNA as well. So somebody I want to try and keep a hold of. I've got a few other guys I'm looking at next year as well. From I'm a big Lucha Underground fan, so got Phoenix, Pentagon, Cuerno, Drago, Mil Muertes as well, just to try and because the whole idea of Global Force Wrestling I've done is to utilise all the best wrestlers from around the world that don't fit in any of the rosters. So, going to have all the top Japanese stars as we have here. Nakamura, Tanahashi, Okada, Ibushi, Watanabe, all of those ones. Along with, of course, the top Mexican stars, a few of the top British stars, and then a few Americans as well, just to try and give a good mixture. As Angelico clashing there with AJ Styles on the outside. And finally, Angelico and Nick Jackson make their way back into the ring. And if you you probably haven't, but if you watched a lot of my videos, it was actually South African Pride that originally took the Tag Team Championships away from the Young Bucks within the first couple of weeks of this Universe mode. The Bucks did manage to win them belts back after a few weeks, and again, a bit of jiggery pokery at ringside by AJ Styles to help them get them belts back. And they did hold them, like I said, for a long time until a couple of weeks ago when they lost them to the Killer Elite Squad. And now they see this DDT4 tournament here in Ring of Honor as a fantastic opportunity to gain some more gold in the shape of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Of course, as I mentioned as well in the last match, we are going to crown Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions in the next few weeks as well. And the Young Bucks will obviously be one of the favourites in that competition. So keep tuned to the Global Force Wrestling playlist for that tournament. I think it will be in probably a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I know this is a bit of a difficult month for me, this one, because when the Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling shows are in the same month, it's generally a lot of episodes. Like I say, this pay-per-view here for Ring of Honor is a 4-day pay-per-view. Next week we've got the Attitude Era pay-per-view, which is Judgment Day, which is only a one-nighter, thankfully enough. And the week after that we have the Global Force Wrestling G1 Climax Festival, which is going to be a 7-day pay-per-view. So that's going to be a big one for me. So, yeah, probably be the week after the Climax Festival we crown our first ever Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Nick Jackson there launching Justin Gabriel over the top rope, then bringing him back in the hard way with that hip toss. And remember, the winners of this match will go on to face the Killer Elite Squad, and I'm sure the Young Bucks will be very interested in getting another opportunity at the Killer Elite Squad. Of course, as I mentioned, the Killer Elite Squad taking them tag team belts away from the Young Bucks a couple of weeks back. So, yeah, the Bucks will be looking to get some retribution against them. Nick Jackson up on the apron there, but Angelico with that big kick catches Nick Jackson and now takes him up for the superplex. Big move there by Angelico. A good thing to do in the next game as well, and this is just something that's just popped into my head. Would it be great if when you created a wrestler you could put your own signs in the game? Because they've got the creator logo, so there's no reason why you couldn't do the creator logo to make your own crowd signs. That's a really good idea. I'm just going to completely compliment it myself there. But that'd be great, because then you could have, if you had like an NJPW arena like I have, you could have fans in the front row lifting up sort of Bullet Club signs and things like that. So, yeah, that's not a bad idea. It'd make the game a bit more fluent, because at the moment the creator wrestlers are very, you can tell when you have a created wrestler and a normal wrestler in the ring, you can tell which one's created, because they have got, although they look like, well, most of them look like who they should, there's also quite a generic look about some of them as well. Like Angelico, if I hadn't told you it's Angelico, a lot of people might not have realised. I think Nick and Matt Jackson aren't too bad. The main problem with Nick and Matt Jackson is you can't put into the game their personalities. A lot of what makes the Young Bucks are their personalities and their just their inbuilt cockiness, really. Justin Gabriel there with that shoulder breaker. That's quite an impactful move. He's going to go for a pin here. He does. 1, 2. AJ Styles is up on the apron, but Matt Jackson was there in time to break the pin. Throws Gabriel into his own corner, allowing Nick a couple of seconds to recover. Nick tries to capitalise on the damage done by Matt, but Gabriel was on top of him. Springboard frog splash with a 180 rotation in the air as well. And again went for the pin, but Matt Jackson was in to break it. Gabriel has Nick Jackson up on his shoulder and drops him face first onto the mat. Referee still distracted with AJ Styles. Gabriel going for the pin. Referee still distracted by AJ. And as I said, the X Factor here having an effect, because South African Pride could have won that then. It's a super kick party now. Matt and Nick Jackson with the super kicks. Referee with a count, only for a 2. Angelico is in quickly to break it. You see Justin Gabriel there locked in a full Nelson submission, but Matt Jackson was there to break it straight away. And again, AJ up on the apron. He's going to have to watch himself. The referee's not going to stand for this much longer. Oh, and as I'm speaking, the referee has thrown AJ Styles from ringside. Matt Jackson comes into the ring. And obviously misses the hot tag, as they normally do. That's something 2K should fix. Justin Gabriel tags out and brings in Angelico. And now we have even playing field here. AJ Styles eliminated from ringside. Referee threatening to disqualify the Young Bucks if he doesn't. There's now Angelico taking Matt Jackson up high. We saw him do this to Nick earlier in the match, and there's another superplex. Maybe should have gone for the pin there, but decides to go for some elbows to the back instead. Again, maybe could have gone for the pin after that big move. And there's that, it's almost like a inverted Russian leg sweep. Only for a 2 count as Nick Jackson was in quickly to break it. But at least the referee was able to see the pinfall this time. Wasn't distracted by AJ. Big boot to stomach by Angelico. And of course both these teams will be involved in the junior heavyweight tag team competition in the next few weeks. There'll be a few Ring of Honor teams in there as well, such as Red Dragon. CNC Wrestle Factory should be in there as well. Of course, we'll get more idea closer to the time. Angelico pulls Matt Jackson to the middle of the ring again, going for a pin. 1, 2. Matt Jackson kicks out this time. Nick may have just made it there in time if he was needed. Snap suplex by Angelico, and South African Pride starting to take some control of this match. Great standing shooting star press. Brings Matt up to his feet, but Matt fights his way out. That boot to the stomach. Twisting suplex there by Matt Jackson. Comes across. Brings his brother in, Nick. What's Nick Jackson got planned? Running neckbreaker on Angelico. Young Bucks trying to take some control back in this match. Nick misses the springboard splash. Angelico brings him back up to his feet. Up onto his shoulder. Justin Gabriel takes Matt Jackson off the apron. Angelico, with that big impactful move, pulls Nick into the middle of the ring, goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, that's it. South African Pride have eliminated the Young Bucks here in the first round of this DDT4 tournament. The Young Bucks, one of the favourites in this competition, have been eliminated in the first round. And all the effort by AJ Styles was not enough to help the Young Bucks be victorious here. Big surprise. And now the South African Pride will go on to face the Killer Elite Squad in a couple of days' time. It'll be Saturday night for you guys. Or Saturday morning, depends how you feel. And the free count off that big impactful move. Justin Gabriel had taken Matt off of the apron. Huge victory here for South African Pride. They weren't really a team when I started this Universe mode I expected to do fantastically well. It was just a way to get Justin Gabriel more involved. However, they are the one-time Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Champions. And they're into round 2 of our DDT4 tournament. Of course, they will be facing the Global Force Wrestling Tag Champions, the Killer Elite Squad. No easy feat. But we'll find out how this develops on night number 3. And here we go, match number 5 this evening. Alberto Del Rio versus Kyle O'Reilly. Both these guys like to utilize their submission holds. Of course, Del Rio goes for the cross arm breaker. Kyle O'Reilly has a hell of a lot of different submissions. He's got the arm breaker in his arsenal, as well as ankle locks, knee bars, Kimura locks, anything you want, Kyle O'Reilly has got. And just trying to use Del Rio a bit more in this Universe mode in Ring of Honor. He's not been used overly a lot in any of my rosters, really. Of course, he's just starting a feud in Global Force Wrestling with Rey Mysterio, trying to use one of the historic feuds. I've not used any of them before, so that's kicking in at the moment. Here in Ring of Honor, we used him quite a bit in the Ring of Honor versus Global Force weekend, but apart from that, he's not been used a lot, so basically just trying to build him up a little bit. And then once we've done that, maybe he should be looking at championships, be that the Ring of Honor Championship or be that the Television Championship. We'll have to see. Of course, Ring of Honor is an interesting one because literally anybody on the roster could be going for that championship. They're all such talented wrestlers. So it's a tricky one for any of these guys to really come out on top. We will be doing the Battle of Los Angeles. I think that's our very next pay-per-view. Whether we get there or not, it's a different story. That's the one thing I will say. It depends. With 2K16 coming out, we might not get that far. Because I want to start doing the 2K16 Universe mode as soon as I possibly can. Obviously, getting as many videos uploaded for you guys as possible while it's hot, while everyone wants to watch it. Help me build a bit more of a fan base and create some more great footage for you guys. Yeah, of course, we do have a Television Championship match for you this evening. We're going to have an Elimination Chamber match. As I said earlier, not really that realistic for Ring of Honor to be able to put on a match like an Elimination Chamber, but Jay suggested this 6-man match for the television title, which I think is a great match. So I didn't want to do it as a Battle Royal because I think I don't think Battle Royals are great for championships to change hands. Maybe #1 contendership, yeah, it's fine, but for a championship, I don't like Battle Royals to change hands. So we've gone for Elimination Chamber. I was originally wanting to go for a ladder match, but it's stupid. You can have a 6-man ladder match, but you can't have a 6-man ladder match for a championship. Explain that to me, 2K. So yeah, we are going Elimination Chamber this evening. Some big names in there, of course. Lethal's going to defend that belt against Austin Aries, Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole. So it's going to be a cracking match, that is, for you. And of course, our next match will be ACH taking on Matt Sydal in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. And again, that was a match that was suggested by Jay in the comment section below. And as I mentioned in a few of my videos, if there is any matches you guys like to see, just drop them in the comments. I may not be able to do them instantly, but they will get put into effect at some point. Jay gives me a lot of suggestions, and I have got a book on my desk I write them all down in. And over the months, I do try and get them all involved. I think Jay suggested in WWE very early on that Bad News Barrett go for the championship, and it took a couple of months, but I finally got to a point where Bad News Barrett had his shot. Unfortunately, didn't manage to take the belt away from Cena. But yeah, we are trying to work in as many as I can for you guys. I've noticed over the last few days, I've a lot more comments as recent. I don't know if I think I've been getting a few more subscribers in, a few more people watching my videos. So it's great to see all your comments. That's what I was going to say earlier. That's what it was. I don't know why, but if you're commenting on my videos through Google Plus, your Google Plus page, it won't let me reply. If you comment directly on YouTube, I can reply easily enough, but if you comment through Google Plus, it won't let me directly apply to your message. So I do pride myself in replying to every single comment, and if I don't reply, that's probably the reason, because it won't let me through Google Plus. So yeah, if you do comment through YouTube, I will reply to all of your messages. As Del Rio locks in the cross arm breaker on Kyle O'Reilly here. Can O'Reilly last the damage? And he does. Del Rio releases the hold. And that's one thing I'd like 2K to address in the next game as well, is to make submissions stronger. I'd like to see more people submit to finishing submissions, that is. If you lock in a cross arm breaker and it's your finisher, I don't think you should release that hold unless either your opponent taps or they reach the ropes. I don't think you should just release it the way they do there. It's just for me, because it means in a situation like this where Del Rio has arm breaker as a finisher, he has to rack up maybe 2 or 3 finisher maneuvers before he actually can win the match. Whereas if you have an impact finisher, chances are you'll win the match a lot quicker. As O'Reilly may prove to us here. And now this is O'Reilly's cross armbar now. The battle of the armbars here. And again, O'Reilly breaks his. That was rather quick, that. I might have to check O'Reilly's submission stats where they should be, because that seems quite quick to break the hold. I didn't see the rope break get called, but there you go. And O'Reilly's a guy that I really like. I think we'll probably use him a bit more as Del Rio with that big kick, and O'Reilly looks down and out here. Del Rio going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Del Rio with a big victory here this evening, and yeah, I'm starting to fall into the idea of giving Del Rio a championship shot this weekend even at some point. Not sure which championship it's going to be for yet. I think Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe. There we go. We could do that tomorrow night, you know. We could do that tomorrow night. I was going to have the Ring of Honor Championship defended twice this weekend. And why not tomorrow night have Samoa Joe versus Alberto Del Rio for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. The winner goes on to face Daniel Bryan on night number 4. And that is locked in now because I wrote up my piece of paper. I wrote up my paper, so that's all done. Yep, so that's another thing that Jay suggested in the comments as well. He wanted to see Del Rio get a championship opportunity, and that will happen on tomorrow's episode. So be sure to check that one out. Of course, if you subscribe, you will get a notification as soon as that video is uploaded. Plus, you subscribe, and that's great for me. Del Rio, big victory here, defeating one of the top guys in Ring of Honor, Kyle O'Reilly. And if we see this image tomorrow, we could have a new Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion. And here we go with this 6th match of the evening. And this is Matt Sydal versus ACH. Best 2 out of 3 falls. And as I mentioned, this is one that has been suggested down in the comment section by Jay. This is a match he wanted to see. And I'm pretty excited about it as well, actually. These two guys have great similar styles. So it should be a very good match. Of course, Matt Sydal, of course, was the WWE wrestler Evan Bourne. Still quite a... He was a great wrestler. I don't know why they... Well, I know why they released him. Due to a couple of failed drugs tests, I believe. But, yeah. It's a shame because he was really a cult hero with some of the fans. But, of course, with the drugs policies, I don't think it was nothing overly bad. It was, I think it was synthetic cannabis, I think it was. I don't know what synthetic cannabis is, though, that's truth. But there you go. He was released there and then. I think he was done for synthetic cannabis, and then when his ban was up, he came back, and I think he broke his foot maybe, and he was out for a year. I don't think he ever made a return. I may be wrong. I think a team between Evan Bourne and John Morrison might be quite a good team as a tag team. Similar styles. Both with a common history. They both got a release from WWE. And again, John Morrison, that was another strange one for me because he was a great wrestler. He had a lot of fans behind him. I think John Morrison's situation may have been to do with his girlfriend Melina being released, I believe. I might be wrong. It was all a long time ago now. Beautiful spinning heel kick there by Evan Bourne. And now there's the DDT to the knee of ACH, and another one. Clever move this by Matt Sydal, knowing that taking out the legs, taking out the base of ACH is going to slow down his attack. Of course, ACH, like Matt Sydal, uses a lot of springboard maneuvers and a lot of quick maneuvers as well. So by damaging the leg, that's going to affect that. Maybe not damage the leg enough though, as ACH catches him a couple of times. Great running Meteora there by Matt Sydal, and a leg drop there as well. So I just every now and again I keep remembering people to put on my roster list for next year. I thought I'd done my roster list, and I thought it was all great, happy, and all that sort of stuff. And now when I think about it and start looking, I realise just all these people I've missed off that I want to have in there. I've just added on there now Tommy End, Trevor Lee, and Andrew Everett. I've just added to my list. Those are 3 guys that I completely forgot. Tommy End. Someone's actually made a Tommy End core now on the community creations here on PS3. It's not very good though, so I have not downloaded it as yet. I want Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have Tommy End on this game. However, I want to make sure that the core looks remotely like the person it's supposed to before I do it. Don't get me wrong, I have got a few on here that were not great. There's a great crossbody there by ACH, in for the pin, only for a 1 count though. And if you watch my retro roster, I did a few months back now, had Yokozuna for 1 show. But it was such a bad core that I had to just delete it. Well, I didn't delete it, I replaced it with someone else. And I don't know what it is, but it seems so difficult. If a creative wrestler is great, if it's a normal standard size person, it's absolutely great. But once you get into the realm of the bigger guys like Yokozuna or Earthquake or Typhoon, that's when they don't start to look correct. As ACH with a quick roll up, and now Matt Sydal reverses, and we're going to end up with one of these endless pinfall reversals again, are we? This is the 4th pin. And number 5. And I'm hoping, again, this is one of the things that 2K has addressed next year's game. I don't know if it's going to count as the normal reversals, because I know they're saying you get 5 reversals, and once you've used them, you have to slowly regenerate them as the match goes through. So I don't know if pinfall reversals will be the same. I'm hoping they will, because this just gets a bit embarrassing after a while. I try and talk as much as I can over it and try and distract you from what's actually happening on the screen. However, it's a bit difficult. Eventually, one of these 2 guys will just kick out. Eventually, but I think we're probably close to about 15, maybe even 20 pins now. Yeah, it's a bit it's just a bit embarrassing, isn't it, really? But they just sort of go around in circles as well, because every single one slightly rotates them. So we're getting lots of different... There we go. Finally, ACH kicks out. Getting lots of different views of the same pin there. Evan Bourne throwing ACH into the corner. Not Evan Bourne, sorry, Matt Sydal. Over the top rope he goes and completely misses there. Look, he was going to go for a head scissors. And ACH with a springboard splash of his own brings Matt Sydal back up to his feet. There's that arm drag. And another thing I'd like 2K to fix as well, since we've got Matt Sydal in the ring, I think it would be better if the AI was more intelligent to a point where they like to use their top rope finishes a bit more. They have a few. As Sydal with a big pin there from the big DDT. I use big there so many times in a sentence. Yeah, but the guys don't seem very confident using their top rope finishing maneuvers. So it'd be nice to see them use that a bit more. Frankensteiner there by Evan Bourne. I keep calling him Evan Bourne now. It's Matt Sydal. Oh no, we're quitting the quick roll up here by ACH. And we're back into the endless pinning combination. Oh god. Hey, not a long one this time as Matt Sydal kicks out. Launches ACH into the corner. Now takes him up onto the top turnbuckle again. What's Sydal got planned here? Oh, this is going to be good. I like this. German suplex. Holds on. And there's the shooting star press. Beautiful, beautiful move by Matt Sydal. And he leads 1-0. What a great combination that is. The German suplex into the shooting star press. That's the sort of stuff I like to see from this game. Another arm drag by ACH, and he knows now he has to pick up 2 successive falls over Matt Sydal to win this match. Matt Sydal fighting out of the suplex there, with a knee to the head. ACH with a quick roll up again, but Matt Sydal manages to kick out. Catches ACH in the headlock, but ACH breaks free and launches Sydal into that corner. Now ACH takes Sydal up onto the corner. Frankensteiner of his own. Could that be all? Here goes to the pin. 1, 2. No, Matt Sydal kicks out. It looked like ACH may have done enough to pick up the fall. Great spinning kick there by Matt Sydal. How much of that did he get? We'll see here. 1, 2. Oh, so close to a 3 count. ACH is still in this one. And Evan Bourne with a standing Kimura. Sorry, Matt Sydal with a standing Kimura. ACH breaks out with a punch to the stomach. And now just a big strike to the back by Sydal. And a standing moonsault. Great standing moonsault. Gets a lot of hang time in the air. Goes to the pin, and this could be all. 1, 2, and 3, and it is. Matt Sydal wins this match. 2 falls to nothing over ACH. Great victory for Sydal. And that was great, that was. That German suplex followed up by the shooting star press for the first fall. I'd like to see a bit more of a smooth shooting star press on the game for Sydal. And then there's a pin from... I think that was from the kick to the head that was earlier on. And there's the beautiful standing moonsault. Gets a lot of hang time. Pulled ACH further into the ring away from the ropes. And there's the 3 count. Great victory here for Matt Sydal, defeating ACH 2 falls to 0 in this best 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm sure we'll see both of these guys again at some point over the weekend. I think these are both on my list for next year's game as well, to be working in Ring of Honor and Global Force. And here we go with our Ring of Honor Television Championship match here this evening. It is, of course, the Elimination Chamber match. We're starting off here with Austin Aries and Roderick Strong in the ring. Huge clothesline across the back of the head by Roderick Strong. Of course, Jay Lethal, the champion. Very, very tricky defense here for him this evening. Remember, pinfalls and submissions can happen at any single time, so we can have anyone eliminated. We could have one of these guys eliminated before somebody else even enters the match. Not very likely going to happen, but it's a possibility nonetheless. And again, just to mention, this was a match suggested by Jay in the comment section. He wanted this 6-man match. I've sort of added the Elimination Chamber element to it just to make it so we can have all 6 guys in a match without it being a battle royal. As we're going to have another entrant into this match in 1 second. Who's it going to be? It's Adam Cole. Adam Cole makes his way into this ring. And again, it would be nice if we were allowed to have Elimination Chamber matches in arenas that weren't Elimination Chamber. Yeah, and the same with Royal Rumble matches. That's one that really annoyed me a few weeks back, because I wanted to do a 10-man over the top rope match to crown a #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. So I did a 10-man Battle Royal. I did a 10-man Royal Rumble. Problem is that it made me use the Royal Rumble arena when it was supposed to be a match on Raw. So I was quite annoyed with that, but it's not a major problem as long as the match goes ahead. I suppose we can sort of just ignore the fact that it's in the wrong arena. Double neck breaker there by Aries and Adam Cole on Roderick Strong, and we will have another entrant to this match in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? It's Eddie Edwards. We've got the first of the American Wolves in this match. And them two would be wise to work together. However, they're both very competitive guys. And I know they probably have discussed it backstage. They know it's every man for themselves in this one. However, it might be wise for them to work together to eliminate a couple of guys. Eddie Edwards there with the almost like a stunner on Austin Aries. German suplex, beautiful there by Eddie Edwards. I do like a good German suplex, I must admit. And now my commentary is going to get a little bit laboured in this match because there's such a lot going on. I struggle to keep up with it all, I'm going to admit it. Crucifix bomb there by Austin Aries on Eddie Edwards as Adam Cole just catches Roderick Strong with a neck break. And we're going to have a 5th entrant to this match in 5 seconds time. Adam Cole working over the grounded Roderick Strong. We're still yet to see the Ring of Honor champ. It looks like he's going to be in number 6 as here comes Davey Richards. So Jay Lethal's got a very, very good luck of the draw here. As Davey Richards comes straight in and starts working on Eddie Edwards, which is not great. I know it might be a bit tricky to do for the developers, but I wonder if it's a possibility to, in matches like this, have tag teams work together a bit more. if the game knows that these two guys are in a stable together, maybe they haven't worked together a bit better. As Eddie Edwards pins Austin Aries. I've just realised because we can't see the referee, we don't know what the numbers are on the pins. So I'm going to have to turn my telly up slightly so I can hear. Which I would do, but my remote control doesn't seem to be working. There we go. So hopefully you don't get any interference with that. But at least now I can hear what the referee's counting up to. And we're going to have Jay Lethal in this match in 3 seconds time as Austin Aries locks in the last chancery on Adam Cole. And now all 6 men are in this match. Who will walk out of here the Ring of Honor Television Champion? We're going to find out in the next few minutes. Belly to belly slam by Adam Cole and a belly to belly slam by Eddie Edwards as well. Springboard splash by David Richards completely missed on Roderick Strong. And as I said, it's going to be very, very difficult for Jay Lethal to walk out of this one, the champion. Austin Aries has Adam Cole up. Is he going to hit him? Brainbuster by Austin Aries on Adam Cole. We can have our first elimination here. And we have Adam Cole has been eliminated by Austin Aries. Roderick Strong there with a gutbuster on Davey Richards. Only a 2 count. Davey Richards kicks out of that one. Against the odds as Austin Aries, the elbow drop on Eddie Edwards, brings him back up to his feet. Quick roll up by Edwards. Only a 2 count. But Aries rolls over the top of Edwards for a pin himself. And Eddie Edwards does a great job of bridging out. And now he's going to go for the backslide. Again, only a 2 count. Another great German suplex by Jay Lethal. Big kick to the side of the head by Eddie Edwards. And the American Wolves are doing quite well here. And remember, these two guys, the American Wolves, are involved in the DDT4 tournament. They are, well, they will be having their first round match tomorrow night. And that is against the Forever Hooligans, Rocky Romero and Alex Kozlov. So again, be sure to check that one out tomorrow. Aries with a quick roll up on Edwards. Again, only a 2 count. Edwards reverses. And we're going to go for one of these endless pins in the Elimination Chamber match now as David Richards and Jay Lethal were working together there on Roderick Strong. Quick roll up here by David Richards on Roderick Strong. Referee only counting 1 pin at a time, so that was only a 2 count on Roderick Strong, even though he must have been down there for a good 5 or 6 seconds. Again, Davey Richards and Davey Richards and Jay Lethal should have been working together there on Roderick Strong, but Roderick Strong reverses it and hits the double DDT of his own. As Eddie Edwards and Austin Aries having a great match here. They've really been going at it. Northern Lights suplex there by Austin Aries. Bridge for the pin. Quick roll up by Davey Richards now on Roderick Strong as well. And now Eddie Edwards and Jay Lethal working over Roderick Strong. Sorry, Edwards working over Austin Aries, sorry. They're wearing very similar attires as Austin Aries and Roderick Strong here this evening. David Richards now with the kicks across the chest. And for me, the favourite in this match was Adam Cole. So I'm surprised that he was eliminated first. Jay Lethal pins Austin Aries here. And Austin Aries has been eliminated. We are down to our final 4. Jay Lethal, Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards and Roderick Strong. Will Jay Lethal be able to defend his Ring of Honor Championship here successfully? As Eddie Edwards takes him up. And there's that kick to the face. Goes to the pin. 1, 2. No. Jay Lethal kicks out. How did he get out of that? Big finisher maneuver there by Eddie Edwards. And now Lethal just sends Edwards to the outside of the ring. But Roderick Strong has been eliminated by Davey Richards. We're down to 2 American Wolves. And the current champion, Jay Lethal. It's not a great position this for Jay Lethal to be into. Davey throws Jay into the corner. And are the American Wolves going to work together here to eliminate Jay Lethal? Guarantee that one of those two walk out here as the Ring of Honor Television Champion. Not sure these two guys are that sort of way inclined, to tell the honest truth. As I said, they're very competitive, and they'll enjoy the competition between the two of them. As Davey Richards, a reverse Dragon Sleeper, knee to the face by Jay Lethal. And Eddie Edwards is doing a great job here. Now finally the American Wolves working together. Just slamming Jay Lethal down face first. Eddie maybe should have gone for the pin there, but decides to continue on with more offense on Jay Lethal. And now Davey Richards getting an opportunity to take a breather. Of course, Davey Richards is a one-time television champion already. It was Jay Lethal who actually won the belt away from Davey Richards a few weeks back. Davey Richards won it at the... or did he win it? No, Davey Richards never won the television championship. But here he has a chance. We are down to an American Wolves final. Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards. The winner of this match will be the new Ring of Honor television champion. Edwards going for the pin. 1, 2. Davey Richards kicks out. And of course, remember, these two guys will be teaming tomorrow night. Best of enemies this evening. Best of friends tomorrow. Slamming the arm of Davey Richards into the mat. Now Eddie Edwards has taken control of this match early on. Spoke too soon there as Davey Richards catches Edwards with the Dragon Screw. And Edwards here, they've got to get rid of that that little animation as well, because everybody in the game seems to be going for pedigrees all the time. I know it's only there for the reversal fast as Davey Richards with a big boot to the side of the head of Edwards. 2 and 3, that's it. Davey Richards is your new Ring of Honor television champion here. He lasted the length. I think he eliminated Roderick Strong as well earlier on in the match. Great victory here for Davey Richards. Great start to the weekend for Davey Richards as well, and it could get even better. Remember, the American Wolves in this DDT4 tournament tomorrow, taking on Forever Hooligans. They could walk out of here on Sunday with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, as well as Davey Richards with the Television Championship. And there is your new champion with his belt. It was a difficult match for him, but he deserves it. Well, anyway, guys, that is the end of night 1 of this Ring of Honor DDT4 tournament. We've already seen a new champion crowned this week. We've seen some great tag team matches. We've seen some great matches altogether, really. Yeah, if you could like this video, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It does help me a lot, and obviously subscribe. It is 10 times better. I have been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.